Ladies and gentlemen, shalom. First of all, I would like to say it's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for this invitation. They asked me to start my presentation with a joke, but unfortunately, I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm really a serious waste expert. And waste is a serious topic, because waste is health, waste is environment, waste is involvement, waste is commitment, waste is materials on the wrong place, waste is also political will. And waste needs consistency, waste needs a vision, and waste needs a well-thought planning. So, as already mentioned, my name is Anne van de Putte, and I work as a project manager at the Public Waste Agency of Flanders. After a short introduction of our agency, I will show you immediately some results that we obtained in the Flemish municipal solid waste management. And during my presentation, I will explain you how we achieved these results over the time and how we are shifting now from a waste management towards a materials management. But first, some few words about Belgium, Flanders. Flanders is one of the 3 regions of Belgium, located in the northern part of the country. Flanders is densely populated, has a high degree of industrialization and a service-based economy. And these socio-economic aspects have an important impact on our consumer behavior and consequently on the waste production, the waste composition, and even on the waste collection, as you will see later on. In fact, you can consider Flanders as one big city. And in 1980 in Belgium, each region became full competent for its environmental policy. And the competences on waste management and soil remediation in Flanders were centralized in one body, the Public Waste Agency of Flanders, that has been established in 1981. Important to mention is that the head of our agency is the Flemish minister responsible for the environment, but the daily management is delegated to a general administrator. The main task of our agency is, first and foremost, to prepare the legislation and the policy on waste management on behalf of the Flemish minister responsible for the environment. And once the legislation is approved by the Flemish government, we implement and supervise the implementation of the policy on waste management. In addition, as an EU member state, we implement also and we follow up the EU legislation on waste management. And as you can see, our waste decree of 1981 has recently been revised and transformed in a materials decree. And later on you will understand why we call it not anymore a waste decree but a materials decree. On this slide you have some important facts and figures about Flanders. Flanders has a population of 6 million inhabitants, spread over 308 municipalities. And in Flanders, the 308 municipalities are grouped in 26 associations of municipalities. This is a corporation structure between different municipalities with approximately 250,000 inhabitants. And on this slide you have again the map of Flanders, the northern part of Belgium, with the 26 associations of municipalities. And as you can see, some of them are large and cover a whole county, like number 26, and others are smaller, but the average is 250,000 inhabitants. In Belgium and also in Flanders, the municipalities are legally responsible for the collection and the treatment of the municipal waste produced within their municipality, and they are also the competent authorities for levying taxes on the collection and treatment of the municipal solid waste. These two facts, these two basic principles, together with the fact that Flanders is a densely populated area, create the framework within which the Flemish waste policy is developed and continues to evolve. This is very important to understand the Flemish waste policy. So currently, thanks to the efforts of the municipalities, the local authorities, the citizen, we collect separately in order to be reused, recycled and composted 71% of the residual waste. 29% is collected as residual waste, of which 26% is incinerated in incinerators, all equipped with energy recovery and with the most advanced flue gas cleaning system, because we live in a densely populated area and nobody wants an incinerator in his neighborhood. And only less than 1% of the municipal solid waste is disposed of on a landfill site. I can tell you that since 2006 there is a landfill ban for the municipal solid waste. And the less than 1% that is mentioned here is really waste that cannot be incinerated. In our waste policy, the aim is to keep the residual waste to a quantity as small as possible. And the target in our policy is 150 kilograms per inhabitant. So we already achieved 148 kilograms per inhabitant per year residual waste. I can tell you that since 1997 we collect more waste separately compared to the residual waste. And in Flanders, landfilling becomes more and more a history. To place these results in an European context, on this diagram you can see, or this diagram gives you an overview of the generation, the production and the treatment of the municipal solid waste in Europe. And you can compare the 42 average recycling percentage in Europe with the 71 achieved in Flanders. So I think it speaks for itself. Flanders is really a front-runner in the separate collection. The target of the European Union is 50% recycling in 2020. And also the European Union aims to achieve a target of 70% in 2030 and a landfill ban for the recyclable materials, including the biodegradable household waste, in 2025. Now we come back to the Flemish situation. So this diagram gives you an overview of the composition of the waste that is collected separately. And as you can see, the biodegradable household waste, the kitchen waste, the garden waste, the fruit waste, represent 31% of the waste that is collected separately. And the aim is to divert the biodegradable household waste from the landfill site to transport it to composting facilities in order to be processed and to become good quality compost in accordance to the standards. The reason that we achieve these very good results is that we regulate on a consistent way our waste policy in accordance with the EU Waste Framework Directive, because we are a member state of the European Union, and in conformity with the hierarchy of the waste management operations. So we all know that waste prevention is the most effective environmental solution, followed by reusing, recycling and composting of the waste materials. The third option is the incineration of waste with energy recovery and under stringent sanitary conditions. And in our waste policy, landfilling is the lowest priority. And these four options create the basis for a sustainable waste management system and are the key drivers for resource efficiency. And to realize and to steer the waste management, our waste management options from the lowest priority, landfilling, towards the most difficult step, waste prevention in our throwaway society, we use a whole range of policy instruments. So we have legal-based instruments as legislation, of course, landfill and incineration bans. We implement for several waste streams the producer responsibility, and we have mandatory source-separated collection schemes. We use also market-based instruments as environmental levies on landfilling and incineration. We support the municipalities financially. We implement also the pay-as-you-through tax. And we use also inform-based instruments as information and awareness campaigns, education programs at schools. And these three types of policy instruments are all even important, and the challenge is to find out the most appropriate instrument or mix of policy instrument in order to achieve your target. And it is not the number of instruments that is important, it's the combination, your smart combination. On this slide gives you an overview of the cost for landfilling and incineration of waste, the light green bar, together with the levies, the dark green bar. And as you can see here, for landfilling, the levies is much higher than the levies for the incineration of waste in order to discourage landfilling. And the incomes generated by the levies are used, among others, to finance the infrastructure necessary for the separate collection at source. So a part of the levies flew back to the municipalities to support them financially with the infrastructure for the separate collection of the municipal solid waste. And this has created really the engine behind the separate collection of the municipal solid waste in Flanders. So the period before the start of our agency, the period before 1981, people throw the waste all together in one bag. The waste collected was transported to the existing landfill sites, at that time mostly dump sites, or to the existing incinerators. The dominant way for waste disposal was landfilling at that time, and mainly free of charge. So there was no structured waste management at all. So we started by creating order out of chaos, by closing approximately 90% of our landfill sites, by making maximum use of the, at that time, existing incineration capacity, and by giving the starting signal for the separate collection at source by creating a network of recycling yards. And now I will make a big jump. I will make a jump of approximately 20 years, but this jump we made it step by step. So nowadays, for the separate collection of the municipal solid waste in Flanders, we have two systems simultaneous in operation. We have the door-to-door collection of the residual waste, of the biodegradable waste, of the paper and cardboard, and we have the door-to-door collection of the packaging waste. We call it the light fraction. It's the plastic bottles and flasks, the metal packaging, and the drink curtains. At the same time, we have our bring sites in operation. Sometimes they call it recycling yards, bring sites, civic amenity centers. It's all the same, where people can bring recyclable materials on fixed days, fixed hours, under the supervision of a recycling yard keeper. People can bring also other waste streams, as the small hazardous household waste, in order to be sure that these waste streams will be treated on an environmental sound way. We have a network of bottle banks where people can dispose of container glass separated in white and in colored glass. We promote in Flanders very, very strongly the home composting. And we create also a network of reuse centers where people can bring, a network that covering the whole Flemish area, where people can bring reusable goods as furniture, clothes, bicycles, electric and electronic appliances in order to be repaired, refreshed, refurbished and resold at a low price. And this picture, these results in the 71% of the waste that is collected separately. So we have a network of recycling yards, 337 recycling yards in operation, and more than 50% of the recyclable materials from the households is collected at the recycling yards with a high purity level. And this purity level is very important because the marketability of the recyclable materials depends on the purity level of these materials. And the market of recyclable materials is an international market. So we turn trash into cash. On this slide you have some pictures about the collection, the separate collection of the container glass, separated and colored and in white. And for your information, I have mentioned here the cost per capita in Belgium 2015 for the collection of the glass containers, together with the value of the recyclable materials. But these are prices in Belgium 2015, and this price once again depends on the purity level of your material. So how pure your material is, how better the price you will receive. Some pictures about the door-to-door collection of the paper and cardboard, the sorting process, and the paper bills ready for the paper manufactory. Also here, for your information, you have the cost per capita and the value of the recyclable materials, once again in Belgium for 2015. The door-to-door collection, some pictures about the door collection of the plastic bottles and flags, the metal packaging and the drink cartons. We call it the light fraction of the packaging waste, the sorting process, and also here the plastic bills, once again ready for the plastic manufactory, and the value for the recyclable materials in 2015. So we consider more and more waste as a raw material and not longer anymore as a waste material, in order to close the material loop and to become a recycling society. The policy regarding the bio-waste is very important because the bio-waste represents a high amount in the residual waste. So for the bio-waste, we worked out a 3-track policy. And the first track is focused on the prevention of the biodegradable household waste by stimulating home composting, because we consider home composting as a way of prevention of the production of biodegradable household waste. The bio-waste is composted in the garden, and the citizen or the households can use it directly as a soil fertilizer. The second and third track in our bio-waste policy is focused on the maximum separate collection of the vegetable, fruit and garden waste, and the maximum separate collection of the green waste. I told you already, we stimulate very strongly the citizen, the households, to compost their bio-waste in their garden. And to stimulate the citizen to start with the home composting and to continue with home composting, we worked out a lot of educational and promotional material. But next to this promotion strategy, home composting requires also technical support. And for this technical support, we create a network of compost masters. And compost masters are volunteers that instruct the citizen or the household how to start with the home composting, that help the citizen with the functioning of a compost bin and how to make good quality compost. And I can tell you that more than 50% of the Flemish households compost their bio-waste in their garden. So next to this strong promotion for home composting, we collect also, since 1992, the biodegradable household waste door to door. People has also the possibility to bring their green waste to the recycling yard. And the bio-waste collected is processed in composting facilities and in biodigesters in order to produce biogas and good quality compost. And this slide gives you an overview of the 34 composting facilities in Flanders. And as you can see, approximately in each association of municipalities, there is a composting facility in operation, operated by the Association of Municipalities or by a private company or by a combination private-public. But we have door-to-door collection, we have the operation of bring sites, recycling yards, and of course this has a cost. And how do municipalities finance in Flanders their waste services towards the citizen? They do it by imposing yearly, annually, a fixed tax, and by imposing a cash tax for each residual waste bag the citizen set out. By imposing a cash tax for the door-to-door collection of the household packaging waste. By imposing a cash tax for the collection door-to-door of the biodegradable waste and the access to the recycling yard, the access to the bottle bank and the door-to-door collection of the paper and cardboard is for free. So a combination of a fixed tax together with the pay-as-you-throw tax, first of all, reduce the residual waste, because how better you sort your waste, how less you will pay for the residual waste collection. And in our waste policy, the aim is to keep the residual waste to a quantity as small as possible. The combination of a fixed tax together with a pay-as-you-throw tax gives a boost to the separate collection, makes the citizen more and more aware of the real cost for the collection and treatment, and last but not least, it applies the polluter pays principle. You pay for the waste you throw away. From time to time, we control the content, the composition of the residual waste. It's not the most pleasant job, but it gives us information about the participation rate of the citizen in the separate collection, and it gives us also information about which waste stream we need to do still more effort. And on this diagram you can see the composition of the residual waste in 1995, and you can compare it with the composition of the residual waste in 2000, 2006 and 2014. And from this diagram we can make two very important conclusions. First of all, the total amount of the residual waste decreased from 2060 kilogram until less than 150 kilogram. So it's a decrease of more than 60%, and this decrease is mostly done by the separate collection of the green waste, the biodegradable household waste. Important is that the citizen has to participate in the new system. Citizen has to participate in the separate collection of the municipal solid waste. And the separate collection of municipal waste can only work if the citizens are sufficiently aware about the system and if they are well informed about how to sort their waste. And this is a picture of our famous waste collection calendar that mentioned on which day which waste fraction will be collected. On the back side is given more information about how to sort your waste, the location of the recycling yard, the location of the reuse center, the opening hours, and so on. And recently, the municipalities, together with the accredited body for the take-back obligation of the packaging waste, developed an app for your smartphone that gives you a signal the day or the evening before which waste stream you need to set out. It's very handy. So these are some examples of posters that we developed to stimulate the citizen to consume less, to buy clever, buy less waste, to stimulate the citizen to start with the home composting, to stimulate the citizen to use compost in their garden. How more your compost used in your garden, how stronger your flower will be. We Flemish people, we like bicycling, we love bicycling, so when you sort very well your packaging waste, the metal packaging, we can produce more than 350,000 new bicycles from the metal fraction. And this poster is one of the most recent that we developed to stimulate the citizen, to stimulate the workers, also to sort their waste at the workplace. What you do at home, can you do also in your office? Important is that children are a very important target group. They are the citizen of the future. They educate their parents and grandparents in their eco-friendly attitude. So we worked also out a lot of educational and material for schools. If we achieve this very good result, 71%, I can tell you this is mainly due to the fact that the municipalities cooperate together in their fight against the waste amount. So we recommend very strongly the cooperation between different municipalities. An association of municipality is a perfect level to set up a better waste management. They are close to the citizen and they are best placed to set up an appropriate, user-friendly system for the municipal solid waste. Important is that the municipalities or the association of municipalities keep control over the collection and treatment of the municipal solid waste and keep control also over the cost for the collection and treatment of the municipal waste. And last but not least, municipalities or the association of municipalities play a key role in the implementation of the national, regional or local waste management planning. They can be front runners in setting up a better waste management, as Sergon Jakov. So, it's finished? So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have convinced you that we have in Flanders already taken a big step. But unfortunately, we are wasting too many raw materials, and the environmental pressure caused by the use by these raw materials is definitely too high. So there are several urgent reasons to close or to move forward to close the material loop and to shift our waste management towards a green circular economy approach. To finish, ladies and gentlemen, waste management is working on each step of the hierarchy of waste management operation, and this on an integrated way. It's looking or searching for the best combination of instruments, the best mix of policy instruments, It's not the number that is important, but the combination, the smart combination. Waste management is also working on obtaining the commitment of all your stakeholders, citizens, private companies, municipalities. It's not only working on the full commitment, it's also working on a continued dialogue with all your stakeholders. I can tell you in Flanders, without this full commitment and without this continuous dialogue, we should never achieve this good result. So don't be afraid of waste management. Advanced waste management contributes to resource conservation. Create business opportunities, create employment, stimulate innovation, and it creates also a healthy environment. So, Toda, thank you for your attention. And make art from your waste. Thank you.